last week at Holland Hospital, and I was scared that I was going to have to sit. So, and my mental health is way.
Public Defender's Office to assist with your arraignment in this particular file. The charges that have been filed against you here indicate that on February 10, 2025, in the city of Grand Haven, Ottawa County, in count 1, that you did make an assault upon a Geezer Escobar with a dangerous weapon, a long gun, but without intending to commit the crime of murder or to inflict great bodily harm less than the crime of murder. And in count 2, that you did make an assault upon a Eligio Paplem with a dangerous weapon, a long gun, but without intending to commit the crime of murder or to inflict great bodily harm less than the crime of murder. Both of these counts are both felonies. They're punishable by up to 4 years in prison, fine up to $2,000 with DNA to be taken upon your arrest. Consecutive sentence may be imposed under Michigan statute if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. With regard to these 2 felony charges, in addition to all the trial rights that were part of your advice of rights form, you'll have the right here at the district court to have what's called a probable cause conference to be held not earlier than 7 days from today's date. That's a conference where you and or your attorney can meet with the prosecutor and find out what information they have against you in relation to these charges and try to resolve your case. If you're not able to resolve the case at that first hearing, again, at the district court, you have the right to a preliminary examination, be held not later than 14 days after that first hearing. It's at the preliminary examination phase that you have the right to hear witnesses brought by the prosecutor in the courtroom to try to prove to the court that there's probable cause exists that the crimes were committed and probable cause to believe that you're the one that committed those crimes. If they establish those two items, then your cases would be sent up to the circuit court for resolution, whether that's by trial or by plea or some other agreement. Do you understand those rights?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you plan to hire your own lawyer, represent yourself, or do you need the help of the public defender?
Public defender, Your Honor.
Do you have the funds available to you right now to hire your own private lawyer?
I don't know how much it would cost. I would have to call around and see.
Usually on a felony
Like there are a
matter,
lot of things.
usually on a felony matter, it could be anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 upfront retainer at least. Do you have that kind of cash available to hire one right now?
No, I do not, Your Honor.
Then I will
I am on a
refer,
fixed income.
then I will refer your case to the public defender's office for their appointment of a lawyer for you. I'll schedule you for your next first hearing on this of probable cause conference to take place next week, Wednesday. It'll be February 19th. Actually, I'm going to bump that by one day. We'll make that February 13th at 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm sorry, 8:15 in the morning. 8:15 in the morning.
So that would be 2 days from now, Your
No,
Honor?
I'm sorry, February 20. Looking at the wrong week here. February 20 at 8:15.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Gentry, any comments you want to make with regard to bond?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. According to the pretrial risk assessment, which does recommend that he be released, Mr. Pring has no history of FTAs and little to zero criminal record. Additionally, Your Honor, it is my understanding that Mr. Pring is a combat Army veteran and is dealing with some potential mental health issues for which he will be seeking assistance in the near future. He does have strong ties to the community with family in the area and has lived in West Michigan for almost 50 years and in Grand Haven specifically for around 3. He does have reliable transportation to future court dates and understands that he needs to be here for those dates. It's also my understanding, Your Honor, that Mr. Crane, due to his service-related health issues, is on fixed income disability, and so we would ask the court to set a PR below under 10 bond.
The pretrial risk assessment does indicate that Mr. Pring has some history of living in the Grand Haven area for at least 3 years. He served in the U.S. Army from 2007 to 2013. He has a master's degree in finance from Baker College. Dealing with some health concerns. It also indicates that the police at the time of the investigation confiscated all firearms that were in possession of Mr. Pring. The location of Mr. Pring's residence is such in relation to the court that I don't believe appearance in court is a question for bond. There are no prior failure to appears. While the charges are significant, the risk level on the praxis identifies the defendant as a low number 1 risk. As a result of that, the court will set bond, in this case, in the amount of $5,000 personal recognizance. I'm setting a personal recognizance bond with value so that we can make sure the public can be kept safe with conditions that I'm going to place on your bond. They will require that you appear for all hearings that we schedule in this matter, abide by any judgment that's entered by the court. You're not to leave the state of Michigan without the permission of the court. You're not to commit any crime while released. You must immediately notify the court in writing of the change of any address or phone number. Report to the court agencies as directed. You are not to use any alcohol, marijuana, or any other illegal substance while out on bond. You must participate in any substance abuse testing or monitoring program. You must participate in a treatment program for any physical or mental condition. You're not to use or possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. You're not to harass, intimidate, beat, molest, wound, stalk, threaten, or engage in any conduct that would place any person in reasonable fear of injury. You're not to have any contact with Mr. Escobar or Mr. Pop-Len. You'll be required to participate in our pretrial services program, which means upon your release from jail, within 48 hours, you'll need to contact the probation office to discuss with them how often you will be needing to report while this case is still pending. It will be important when you receive your paperwork at the jail that you pay attention to that date and time that you have to be back here in Grand Haven District Court, February 20 at 8:15. And also in your paperwork will be a letter from the Public Defender's Office. It'll be very important that once you get out, you give them a call so they can identify to you which attorney they've appointed to your case, and maybe you can have some discussions with them even before your next hearing. Do you have any questions, sir?
Yes, I have one question, Your Honor. Because of my PTSD, the VA has recommended, and I do use medical marijuana. So that's up to you. If I can't, then I'll have to figure out something else. But that's one of my two treatments.
You'll need to relay to your attorney from the Public Defender's Office proof of that medical marijuana card, and I'll take a look at that, and that can be addressed at your next hearing, whether to amend your bond conditions accordingly.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Gentry, do you have anything else for the record?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, that is all, gentlemen.
Thank you, Judge.